never seen dragons like this before.
Stopped!
Holy sh**. The names. Strike Guard, Light Herder.
Lady Celestria.
Together we are Celestial Strike. Whoo, yo. Happy Friday,
Happy
number one.
Friday.
Yes, we are off and popping. We are just all the way in on Baldur's Gate so far. And
Balls deep.
yeah, and there's so much Baldur's deep. Huh? Anybody?
Ah.
Anybody?
Okay.
We, however, transitioning over past that joke to, we've been talking about so much stuff, and there's so much stuff still out there to talk about, which is amazing.
Good stuff.
And right now, we want to talk about the state of dragons. We believe right now, this is the best state that dragons have ever been in MTG history, and I really don't think it's a debate. The cards that got added to this set,
So much good stuff.
I mean, we're talking not just really good dragons, but cards that are supporting dragons that make a complete deck. Like, you already had your whatever commander dragon tribal type sets or decks, but this like really brings them together and it takes it over the top. So that's what we want to talk about, is just these new cards that are in here so far, how they kind of match up and complement the whole dragon tribal concept anyway. But y'all, there is also a link in the description below for our dragon deck that we like to play and whatnot, and just kind of our general deck building concept using a lot of these cards and whatnot. So check that out in the link below, and let us know your thoughts about these dragons in the comments below.
Comment.
So, and if we miss anything,
Be sure and
make
tell
sure
us.
you yell at us, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, without further ado, let's talk about some support cards for dragons. Number one, namely Enchantments, right?
A lot of good ones that came out with this new set.
Yes.
Like really good stuff.
And the main thing that really kind of took off was the backgrounds, right? Like that was a new thing. So enchantment backgrounds are a thing. And if you don't know backgrounds, or if you're still trying to catch up on that, we do have a video on backgrounds. So make sure you check that out and kind of get initiated with it. But without all of that said, further ado, something like that. Anyway, let's talk about some backgrounds first.
Yes. So the first one that we're going to dive into is the Acolyte of Bahamut.
Whew.
It's a 1 and a green legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own have the first dragon spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. And
Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, because dragons are expensive.
Yes.
They're powerful cards. The decks can be a little slow to get started.
Yep.
So this is awesome because it helps you get it out earlier.
Yep. And that's the whole point, is like if you can get one of your dragons out there and then you start hitting the Acolyte of Bahamut, or Bahamut, however you want to say it, out there, your first dragons are going to cost 2 less. And y'all, if you can get 2 less on huge dragons like that, I mean, you can end the game extremely early. So that's a very powerful card that they added, and it's only a 2-drop background, right? The other one I was thinking of was Agent of the Shadow Thieves. This is just kind of a ridiculous card anyway. We have it in our Wilson deck, and or it's the background for Wilson. But long story short, Agent of the Shadow Thieves is a 1 and a black, so a 2-drop total for a legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own have, whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. It gains Death Touch and indestructible until end of turn. Very, very powerful card. And we recently learned, because we were playing it and we were like getting our hands on it and trying to do it, we're playing 1v1, right? This wording makes total sense in multiplayer, but when it's 1v1, you're like, wait, no opponent, right? Like technically, if I'm swinging, I would be an opponent, right, to the player. Turns out, no, it's talking about your opponents. So if you're swinging and none of your opponents, that means the person that you're attacking as well has no more life than you, you're going to put that 1/1 counter on, get the death touch and indestructible. So it's an incredibly powerful card, and it rewards you for keeping a high life total, which I think is pretty dope. So the next one I wanted to talk about, Lady C.
Master Chef. Legendary enchantment background, 2 and a green. Commander creatures you own have this creature enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it, and other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on them.
Yes.
So, I mean, this one's, you know, these are good cards for any deck, really, but when you pair them with dragons, it just makes them unstoppable.
Yeah, dragons don't really need more pump, but why not, right? Let's get them more beefy for no reason at all. And I mean, I can't think of anything more powerful than having 1/1 counters for your commander dragon, and then all of the extra dragons getting 1/1 counters when they come out. So it gets pretty out of control. Next one I was thinking of was like Dragon Cultist. So it's got dragon in the name, but it's a 4 in a red, so it's a little more expensive. But for this background, you're going to get commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step. If a source you control dealt 5 or more damage to, or this turn, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. And you will see why that's not only awesome, but when you pair it with a certain dragon that we're going to talk about later, it becomes basically unbeatable. And so it's pretty awesome just to have the extra tokens being made and rewarding you for popping that damage. But 5 or more is very easy to do with dragons, because pretty much all flyers, and you're going to get through, and it's not really going to be too much of an issue. Other ones I was thinking of as well, it's like Sword Coast Sailor. That one's going to be, you know, if no one has, it's I believe 2 in a blue, but it has, if no other opponent has more life than you, you're actually going to have it come in unblocked. So without having anybody being able to block your huge dragon, it can kind of get out of hand for the opponent pretty quickly. And I just wanted to verify I was getting it pulled up here. It is a 2 and a, or no, excuse me, it's a 1 in a blue. So even cheaper. It's a 2-drop background, and whenever you're attacking with the commander, it's going to come in unblocked. And if you already have Master Chef pumping it up, yeesh, it starts getting kind of out of control. Another one as well was, Lady C, I'm getting it pulled up for you.
Guild Artisan?
Yeah.
Guild Artisan.
It's pretty dope.
So it's a 1 in a red. Commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks a player. If no opponent has more life than that player, you create 2 treasure tokens. Yeah. So once again, ramp getting those creatures out quicker. Yeah. Which is important because, yeah, dragons they're expensive and they can just tend to take a little while. So anything that you can do to, you know, get them out quicker, it'll help you dominate the board.
Yep. And you just, it's kind of what you want to do, you know? And having the extra tokens not only helps you get out more dragons, but you can sling some spells. So if you need to protect your dragon or anything like that, that's clearly an option, and that's, you know, kind of the whole point. Also, a very powerful one that I believe could really take off your commander deck is Raised by Giants. So it's a 5 and a green, and it's a commander creatures you own have base power and toughness 10/10 and are giants in addition to their other types. So if we've stacked up our backgrounds, because this isn't just for creatures that say choose a background, like you can just throw these in your deck, they're just normal enchantments. So you throw that out there, you got a 10/10 that's been pumped by maybe Master Chef, and then you have Sword Coast Sailor out there, so it can't be blocked, and then you got Agent of Shadow Thieves that keeps pumping it as well each turn, and it's indestructible and it can't be blocked. You see where we're going with this. So it's just, that's kind of the whole shebang there, and it gets pretty crazy. Last enchantment I wanted to talk about, Lady C.
Legion Loyalty. So this one's kind of expensive. It's 6 and 2 white. Creatures you control have Myriad, which means whenever a creature with Myriad attacks for each opponent other than the defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of that creature that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. And you exile those tokens at the end of combat.
Yep. So you're going to just get a stupid amount of your own creatures out there each time you attack with them. So if you have a lot of dragons, they're going to make tokens of themselves until end of turn that's tapped and attacking.
I'm curious though, so the way that that's worded, let me read that real quick.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So whenever a creature for each opponent other than defending player. So if you're just playing 1v1,
it's not going to do anything.
It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, this is a multiplayer card, tried and true, right? Like there's no sense if you're just playing, or if you're just a 1v1 type player, or if that's all you got. Yeah, don't put this in there because you won't be able to do anything. But in the multiplayer format, especially if you can get it up to 4 players, talking about making an extra 3 of each of your creatures each time.
Or an extra 2, because you can.
Except for the other. Yeah. Well, except for the defending player. You're right. So 2 each turn.
And it depends on what other kind of decks that your opponents have. They might have some pretty beefed up. I would hope they would have some beefed up stuff if they're going up against a dragon.
Yeah, if they're playing your deck here with dragons, they might want to come correct. I'm just saying. So that is going to conclude the enchantments. If there's any that we missed, please let us know in the comments below and tell us how dumb we are for missing those. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I want to talk about some other supporting things. Artifacts. They came out and reprinted one of them, but from my knowledge, I don't remember these being reprints. At least I hadn't seen them before this set, so if they're reprints, once again, tell us we're wrong. But I hadn't seen these before. I did see one of them, and I'm going to start with the reprint that I know is for sure a reprint. Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind. It is 2 and a red for an artifact here. You're going to tap it, add red. If that mana is spent on a dragon spell, it gains haste until end of turn.
Ooh, that's nice.
Is nasty
that's
sauce.
That's really nice.
Yeah, you throw that in there, and like I said, you pop that in there with the extra backgrounds that we were talking about in enchantments. Things are getting haste right out the gate while getting pumped up and having their extra stuff. Just insane, right?
Well, and so, I guess they came out with a whole series of these, basically.
Yeah, there's at least 2 more of these, yeah.
The Dragonkind. So the Jade Orb of Dragonkind, 2 and a green. It taps for a green mana. When you spend this mana to cast a dragon creature spell, it enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it and gains hexproof until end of turn. These are just so valuable.
Just crazy
very valuable.
Because you could throw like a spinning wheel or a replicating ring or something out there for 3 mana, or you could throw out something that makes your dragons just absolutely ridiculous and right out of the gate ridiculous. So if you did the Carnelian one, and I could be completely butchering that pronunciation, so apologies, but you pair that up with the red one, and it's going to get haste. And
1/1,
and then you
and
get the Jade
until end of turn.
That is insane, y'all. And the last one is Lapis Orb of Dragonkind. So 2 and a blue. So you're gonna tap it to add a blue. When you spend this mana to cast a dragon spell, scry 2. So it's not as crazy powerful as the other 2, but you do get to scry every time you cast a dragon.
So you can see, and typically you're getting those ramp cards out, towards the beginning whenever you're needing to build up, your mana pool.
Yep.
So it's nice to be able to know what you're putting out.
What's coming up next, right?
So it's valuable still. It's definitely better than,
like we were talking about, like your just normal 3-drop.
3-drop mana.
Yep. And it just adds a ton
mana ring
of synergy with your with your dragons. So that is the artifacts, and like I said, tell me in the comments if those are all reprints or if it's just the one, because I've for sure seen the red one before, and I knew that was a reprint. I don't know if the other ones have already been in there, so let us know.
Did they not make any white or black ones?
Not that I saw. So once again, if we missed them for whatever reason,
yeah, let us know.
Let us know, because I want to see what the white or black one does. But I don't think that those are in the set. Now, let's talk about some support creatures, shall we? I kind of threw these together. They're going to be creatures that you would throw into the deck. They wouldn't really be a what would you say, like a centralized piece of it. You throw these in there to add extra flavor and value for your dragon tribal, right? Like that's the whole point. The first one, Lady C.
Corlessa, Scale Singer for a green and a blue. I don't know why I almost said red. A green and a blue. So it's a 1/4 dragon bard. So it's a pretty decent little blocker for just a 2-drop. Ooh, this is nice. You may look at the top card of your library at any time.
Huge.
You may cast dragon spells from the top of your library.
Huge.
So that's amazing, especially if you can keep that out there the whole time, because then you know, if you got a ton of cards in your hand, you can always,
just keep throwing that in there. One thing to pair it up with, and was kind of the first thing that popped in my head, is you have that one, right? But then maybe you want to throw in Renari, Merchant of Marvels. So it's 3 and a blue, and this is a 2/4 dragon artificer. And so you may cast dragon spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. Choose a background. So technically you could throw this as a commander, but not really our cup of tea to have as a commander, TBH. I mean, you could maybe make one better than I could make one, because I don't think I would make that great of a deck with this one. But I would throw this in the support category, mainly because I'd be pairing that up with Corlessa, and everything would have flash. And you could be flashing things from the top of your deck without people even knowing what hit them. So maybe pop in a 7/7 dragon as a blocker randomly without your opponents even knowing. So that is kind of the first thing that came to my head whenever I saw Corlessa. But there's also some other ones in here. Lady C. Draconic, I think.
Draconic.
Yeah.
Draconic Muralist, 3 and a green, 4/3 dragon bard. When is it draconic or
I think it's draconic. Draconic. Y'all let us know. We're gonna say draconic.
Muralist dies. You may search your library for a dragon card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it's basically a death tutor. So you want this thing to die so you can go get your best dragon card and put it in your hand, and you're ready to go. So,
and worst comes to worst, if the opponent doesn't want to block it, then you're just
coming in for free
dinks.
4 every time. So that's why it's a pretty dangerous card, because it is a 4. You can't just let it keep coming through. You're eventually going to have to deal with it and kill it. And when you do, we get to go get something out of our deck, and it's likely going to be our best card. And so, yeah, that's a pretty good one to have. And like I said, that can really turn the tides in the game pretty quick.
The tides.
Another one that I was seeing in here was the Stirring Bard.
Lots of bards. Lots of dragon bards.
I like it. And for you Witcher fans,
yeah,
there's nothing like a bard, right? 3 and a red for a 0/4 dragon bard with Defender. So when Stirring Bard enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. That part I'm not really as worried about. Here's the deal that I like. Mantle of Inspiration is the activated ability, so all you have to do is tap it, and then target creature gains menace and haste until end of turn. So yeah, you can really synergize with some dragons and really come in for a big swing and big plays just right away. And just put the opponent on the ass quickly, which I'm always a fan of. I also was looking through some other ones, and ambitious dragon. Wow. Ambitious dragon born, right? Hold on, y'all. Ambitious dragon. Yeah, Ambitious Dragonborn. What in the world is going on?
Dragon Barbarian.
Yeah, so it's a 3 and a green. This is a lot better now that I can see it. So it's going to come out as a 0/0 as a Dragon Barbarian, but when it enters the battlefield, it's going to enter with X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control and creature cards in your graveyard. So even if you have a big daddy in the graveyard, it's still going to come out with whatever power it is, right?
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, so if you have a 7/7 either on the battlefield or in the graveyard, you're going to get those 7 1/1 counters onto Ambitious Dragonborn.
So this one's kind of a cheap late play. I would hold on to this one until I've already got something either that's been milled or has already been on the battlefield and died.
Right.
Or is still on the battlefield.
Yep, I 100% agree, and that's the thing, is that you're just keeping it in your hand until you can actually make a big play with it, and that's a pretty big play. I mean, if you can just come out there and immediately for a 4-drop have something come out with, you know, just all of the 1/1 counters on it, good luck dealing with that.
Yeah.
Also a big support card, and this is for sure a reprint, but it is the Geode Golem.
Ooh.
So
a golem.
Yes, for 5 mana. So it's a very cheap card, but not in like mana cost, but I just mean in general. It is a 5/3 golem with trample. Here's the deal. Whenever Geode Golem deals combat damage to a player, you may cast your commander from the command zone without paying its mana cost.
Oh, that's crazy. Especially if you're running a big daddy commander, and I mean, it's a dragon deck.
Yeah, and
it's going to be a big daddy commander.
And you know, like I talked about earlier, we have the Dragon deck. The Dragon gets out there. The Dragon cost just a ton to put out, but if you're talking about just striking one time with the Geode Golem, I almost called him the Mana Geode. That's a different card. The Geode Golem, you're actually going to be popping your big daddy Dragon out there for nothing.
Daddy.
So pretty awesome. So I am also pulling up a couple extra ones here. Scanos Dragonheart is another one I was taking a peek at. Lady C.
4 and a green for a 4/4 Dragon Ranger. Whenever Scanos Dragonheart attacks, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among other dragons you control and dragon cards in your graveyard. You can do background.
Yep.
So I guess that means it could also be a commander if
you throw this in there. This is that tweener type card, just like with Renari, right? So it's a tweener card. I still wholeheartedly would treat this as a support card. I wouldn't make a commander deck with this as my commander and choose one of the backgrounds, but you could. You know, it's not like you can't. But it's a
powerful card.
An excellent pump card whenever you actually start, you know, throwing in some swings.
I mean, yeah, because that can be huge.
You got your big dragons out there, just do it. Also, we talk about mana ramp, Scaled Nurturer. So this is just for 1 and a green, and you can actually tap it. Oh, excuse me, it's a 0/2 Dragon Druid, but you tap it to get a green. When you spend this mana to cast a dragon spell, you gain 2 life.
Oh, life gain.
And life gain randomly from green. You usually see that a lot more with white. But, you know, I can't say I hate it.
I mean, I feel like dragon decks are usually like multicolored though, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dragon's all 5.
All 5.
And that's just... That to me is that's the commander, but
yeah, for sure.
You can also have other commanders, and that's what we're going to go over here in just a little bit. But we got a couple more here. One more that really was kind of sticking out to me: Bale's Invoker. So it's 2 and a red for a 4/2 Dragon Shaman. You can pay 8, and it'll actually deal 4 damage to each opponent. So get to a late game play. You know, if you spend your 8 mana, you go ahead and do 4 damage to everybody. Hopefully you got their life totals pretty low, but either way, it's just extra value. It's not a super powerful card, but it's a nice support card in your deck. So just throwing that one out there. Last one I can think of here. Lady C, you want to take it?
Thrakus the Butcher. For 3, a red and a green, you get a 3/4 dragon peasant with trample. Whenever he attacks, double the power of each dragon you control until end of turn. Whew. What?
Outrageous.
Oh my gosh.
Like, how are you supposed to deal with that?
How do you handle that? Especially whenever you have like a 7/7 flyer
just
out there. I mean, how do you handle it?
Just, you can't. I mean, if it...
You can't, bro.
I mean, that's a game ender right there. If you're in any late game scenario and you attack with Thrakus with your big board of dragons, someone's dying. That's just all there is to that.
Maybe everyone's dying.
Maybe it's just everybody, which is, I mean, that's also ideal.
And especially if you can, if you pair it with the, I don't remember which one it was, the one that gives you haste.
One of the thingies, the artifacts, is that what you're talking about?
Woo!
Which one was that? That was the red one, right? Carnelian.
Yeah,
so everything gets haste and then, oof, see ya.
Ouch.
Okay, any support dragons that we missed, please let us know down below in the comments, and ones that you would add, take away, maybe ones that you'd flip over to this next category that we're going to talk about. These are dragons to use as commanders.
Also, if you're enjoying our podcast, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us a ton, and you get to see us all the time.
I mean, who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Y'all, so dragons to use as commanders. First one up, Furkrag.
I think it's Crag.
Crag. Cunning instigator. That's a mouthful, y'all. Easy for me to say. 3 and a blue-red, so 5 total for a 3/3 dragon flying haste. Whenever one or more dragons you control attack an opponent, go target creature that player controls. Ooh. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, if that creature had to attack this combat, you put a 1/1 counter on your commander and you draw a card. So in a multiplayer format, this is actually a pre-con commander, I believe. So I haven't played this one as like in the pre-con. I don't own that pre-con, so I don't know what the deck looks like. But this seems like a pretty fun commander. You're playing a multiplayer game and you're just goading other people's creatures, so they're having to attack each other, and then whenever
I love that mechanic.
Right,
it's
and then
so
whenever
good.
they deal that damage, you're just pumping your commander and drawing cards. So I mean, that seems like pretty nice mechanic, pretty fun stuff, and maybe I have to get that pre-con and play it against you. So, Lady C, next one.
Ganax. Astral Hunter, 4 and a red, you get a 3/4 dragon flyer. Whenever Ganax, Astral Hunter, or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a treasure token, and then you also get to choose a background.
Yes, so it's not my favorite to,
because he's kind of expensive.
Right.
I mean, he does create a treasure token anytime a dragon enters the battlefield.
Yes.
That's but
really
he is
the main
kind of
thing.
expensive for just a 3/4 flyer, in my personal opinion. I mean, it's still a good card.
Yeah.
But I just think it's kind of expensive for that low power.
Yeah, and really you're using it to ramp up to your next ones. And like I said, it's not my favorite to put dragons in a 2-color box because there's so many good ones in each color. But I would be willing to make a deck like this strictly based off of the ramp, and I would probably pair this up with one of the green backgrounds, get the big baddies of the red-green variety, especially you could throw Thrakus back in that one, and I think you can still do some damage. So that's a little cheaper way to go about it rather than just buying an Dragon deck, right? So that's why I threw that out there as a possibility. So Lady C, you want to take the next one as well?
Lozan, Dragon's Legacy, for 3, a blue and a red. You get a 4/2 Dragon Shaman flyer. When you cast an adventure spell or dragon spell, Lozan Dragon's Legacy deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander. Whew. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So that's
pretty nice.
Once again, I don't like limiting down to one colors with dragons, but I mean, if you're talking about a fling deck, you can talk me into it a little bit more, because whenever I cast a spell, and you can throw some adventures in there too. There are adventure dragons. We're going to go over that here in just a little bit. But if I can cast an adventure spell or a dragon, I'm going to get to do that damage to any freaking target that I want.
You know, I just really like these past couple that we've seen. I don't know. I feel like they just make the dragons, they've made the dragons a little more multifaceted.
Yes.
They've given them more than just, big, beefy, stompy flyers. They've given them, I don't know, a little bit more, some of the more fun mechanics where you can make more creative decks.
100%. And that's why, like we were saying at the beginning, this is 100% the best state the dragons have ever been in, and that's why we're doing this podcast here, is because we were just that passionate about it. We were like, we have to tell someone about it.
So awesome.
And here y'all are. But you're going to talk about extra mechanics and variety and doing stuff like this and things that no one's ever seen. Y'all, our last one to go over today, Mirum Sentinel Worm. So when it is a 3 green, blue, red, so you get that extra color. You don't get all 5, but you do get that, some variety in your color scheme. For a 6/6 dragon spirit, has flying and ward 2, so it's protection a little bit with itself. But here's the deal. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield, not cast, enters the battlefield, under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary.
That's so crazy.
That's ridiculous, y'all. And we keep bringing up the Dragon, and it's because that's the one we have in real life. And once again, you can check out a deck below of the Dragon, but check this out. Here's the combo. You got the Dragon sitting in the command zone. You have Miriam out there. You cast Geode Golem. You smack with Geode Golem. You get to cast Dragon out of your command zone because of Geode Golem for free. And then when it enters the battlefield, Miriam is going to make a token copy.
You get 2 of them.
You get 2 Dragons, y'all.
2 of them. And it bypasses the legendary rule. This is amazing.
Like, that is outrageous, y'all. Like, that's the craziest little combination I've ever seen. And this ain't no slouch as a commander itself. It has 3 colors, so you get 3 really awesome dragon color identities. And I mean, y'all, getting the copy of them?
there's other cards. That other card that we put in here where you get to go and find a dragon to have in your hand, so you can go pick out whichever one you want to make 2 of.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, y'all. And if you're running it in as just a support dragon, because you clearly can, and that's how we have it in the Dragon set. If you have that one that dies and you get to go tutor a dragon, you're going to go tutor Miriam out there, and then now you're rolling. So
well, and also, one thing that would be kind of cool with that one, if you have old Gnawbone.
Oh, yeah.
If you have old Gnawbone, however much damage that goes through, he creates a treasure token for each damage. So if you have 2 of them, then you could have just a ridiculous amount of treasure tokens, so that casting is... I mean, you can just basically cast everything in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you basically play your whole deck. You don't even really need to do a whole bunch. But yeah, that would be an incredible little combination there. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, y'all. I mean, get Miriam, get it in there. It's not that expensive of a card. I mean, I want to say it's a little over $1 or something like that. And throw it in there, make it your commander, put it as a piece of your, more colored dragon deck or something like that. It's worth it. So
did we talk about the Dragon though?
Well, I mean, it's not one of the new ones, but The Ur Dragon, yeah. For those that are uninitiated, let's talk about just a little bit of what the Ur Dragon does.
Just smidgy.
So, the Ur Dragon.
It's expensive, y'all.
Very. It's 4 and then all 5 colors, so 9 total for a 10/10 dragon avatar. It has Eminence. As long as the Ur Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So
there you go right there. All your dragon spells are going to cast 1 less. Plus you had, which card was it? It was like the first one that we talked about that made them all 2 less to cast.
The Acolyte.
Acolyte of
Bahamut. Yeah.
Bahamut.
So you throw that in there, and that's only a 2-drop spell, so everything's going to cost 2 less to cast
plus
every turn.
You get the one-off for Ur Dragon, because that's just when he's in his command zone.
Yes.
He's a flyer also, and then whenever 1 or more dragons you control attack, draw that many cards, then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So you're going to draw however many attack, you're going to draw that many cards, and then you can put one of your choice on the battlefield without paying its mana cost.
And if we want to go back to Miram real quick, it's not a cast trigger, it's enter the battlefield trigger. So if you put whatever dragon onto the battlefield from that triggered mechanic from Ur Dragon, you're going to be copying that spell. That's just
that
stupid.
Is going to be really, really nice.
That is just stupid, y'all. So yes, that's why the Ur Dragon is undefeated, because
that's our number 1 pick for Commander. That's why I said we had to talk about it. I know that that's not Baldur's Gate, but that's our number 1 pick for pairing all of these new Baldur's Gate dragon cards and enchantments and mechanics with that Ur Dragon, because it just makes him... Ridiculous. He's already a ridiculous commander, but it makes him so much better.
Yeah, now this is like unfair, like that's Ur Dragon's already pretty ridiculous. This is unfair at this point. And I'd say Ur Dragon is our 100%, like Lady C was saying, recommendation. If you can make it work, especially with the budget, do it. Maybe proxy and do all the things. But second best and the best commander of the set is Miram for sure. If you can copy dragons, just stupid, So that's all said and done. But any of them that we missed, or like we said, any that should belong in this category, shouldn't belong in this category, let us know below. But here's the super fun stuff. Y'all, they came out with some bad dragons, and I mean bad in a good way, like ridiculously flavorful dragons in this set. And there's 5 big daddies that we got to talk about. So these are the there's more than that, but I was gonna say there's 5 that are just absolutely insane that we have to talk about, and then we have some other ones that we're gonna talk about after that. But the 5 ones that are insane are your Ancient Brass Dragon is to start it off. It is 5 and 2 black for a 7/6 Elder Dragon. So this is a flyer. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. When you do, put any number of target creature cards with a total mana value X or less from graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, where X is the result.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so you're going and getting maybe your own stuff, but definitely other people's stuff out of their graveyards whenever
anyone's graveyard,
whenever it deals combat damage. So pretty ridiculous. Lady C, you want to take the next one?
Ancient Bronze Dragon. It's 5 and 2 green for a 7/7 Elder Dragon flyer. Whenever Ancient Bronze Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. When you do, put X +1/+1 counters on each of up to 2 target creatures where X is the result.
Yeah.
So that could be pretty insane.
Yeah, and not just total 1/1 counters on up to 2 target creatures, each of up to 2 target creatures. So if you roll a d20 and you hit a 20, nat 20, you're gonna put 20 1/1 counters on each of up to 2 target creatures.
Ooh, you got ridiculous. Some flyers, you got some trample in there.
Oof,
oh my gosh.
Ridiculous. This one is pretty dope as well. It's the Ancient Copper Dragon. So 4 and 2 red for
the metal dragons. They're all metals.
Yeah, I like that they're all metals and stuff, and it'll keep that theme after this one too. 6/5 Elder Dragon Flyer. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, roll that d20 again. You're going to create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result.
Ooh.
So,
and that was not as expensive as the other ones. It's only a 6-drop.
Yeah, it's not as expensive mana-wise, but you can talk about expensive
dollar-wise.
Dollar-wise, it's a $50, $60 plus card.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Might want to prop.
For good reason. I mean, you're making a ridiculous amount of treasure if you hit with this guy. Even if you just make one, that's excellent value. So, anyway, the next one, Lady C.
Ancient Gold Dragon. It's 5 and 2 white for a 7/10 Elder Dragon Flyer. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. You create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens with flying equal to the result.
Whew.
You get 20 1/1 flying fairies on the board. Oh my god.
And if you have any token pump in your deck, oh man, because you could just add this to like a token deck, right? So you could add this to like Kadira, Caller of the Small or something like that, and you're going to run a lot of token synergy. So if you make 20 of those, they might be 2 2s or 3 3s.
I want this in my my Lulu Flicker deck.
Oh, I bet you do. So anyway, speaking of in that color identity, actually, the next and last one is Ancient Silver Dragon. So it's 6 and 2 blue for an 8/8 Elder Dragon Flyer. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20, draw cards equal to the result. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Whew.
Oh my god.
Y'all, that's some...
So is that
value.
Even if he gets killed, you still get to, because it says for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you just have basically an emblem, right? And it's just, that's what it is. You have max hand size, or no max hand size, and if you drew 20 cards off of that nat 20 roll, that just is what it is. So,
oh my god,
pretty insane value, and that's why those dragons are a little expensive. So.
So then we have
these are like your extra dragons now. So like those were like your top big daddy dragons. These are your extras, right? Like an extra in like that kind of form, but also just kind of extra that you throw into your deck, almost similar to your support dragons, but they have extra flavor to them that kind of do stuff on their own as well. So Lady C, why don't you take a peek at this one?
Crystal Dragon. It is 4 and 2 white. It is a 4/4 dragon with flying and vigilance, but it does have an adventure for 1 and a white, and it's Rob the Horde. So return target artifact, enchantment, or legendary card from your graveyard to your hand.
Pretty nice.
So that's nice.
Pretty nice. So yeah, it's just like some extra little flavor there, and we still are just sticking with like rare metals and stuff like that. It
metals
seems like
and gems and whatnot.
You know, it just seems like
I guess that makes sense. It's in theme with dragons.
Yeah,
they're treasure hoarders.
Yeah, you gotta, basically Schmaug, right? So the Topaz Dragon is next. It is 4 and 2 black for a 4/4 flying death touch dragon, but it does have the adventure of Entropic Cloud. So it's 1 and a black. Creatures you control gain death touch until end of turn.
Nice.
So yeah, pretty nice little flavor there, and just a little extra. That's what we're trying to get across here. It's the Xtra Dragons. Speaking of,
Emerald Dragon, 4 and 2 green for a 4/4 flyer with trample.
Important.
Yes, and then its adventure is 2 and a green, and what it does is it counters target counter target activated or triggered ability from a non-creature source.
Nice.
And that is called Dissonant Wave is the name of that.
Yes.
That instant adventure.
Never thought I'd see something that would counter, an activated
green.
Ability in green.
That's super interesting.
It's
super interesting.
It's pretty crazy. You more see it in stuff like this. The Sapphire Dragon. It's 5 and 2 blue for a 5/6 flyer. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you're going to scry 2. So that's already awesome. But the adventure.
Adventure.
Psionic Pulse. Do you see why I was trying to add an S in there?
Yeah.
2 and a blue for counter target non-creature spell. So that makes a little bit more sense with the color identity, but at least green has a little love on it. So that's kind of cool. So we're going to move out of those types of cards. The adventure stuff is really cool, but there's some other ones in there too, like you got Juvenile Mist Dragon. So Juvenile Mist Dragon is actually it's loading up here. Here we go. It's 3 and 2 blue for a 4/3 flying dragon. It has Confounding Clouds.
Confounding Clouds.
When Juvenile Mist Dragon enters the battlefield, for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature that player controls. Each of those creatures doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step.
Oh, that's mean.
Yeah,
that's rude.
Pretty rude, especially if you throw it into a flicker deck like your Lulu, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
That starts becoming kind of an annoyance. And y'all, I totally lied. We have one more adventure one right here.
Oh, the Fang Dragon. 5 and a red is a 6/3 flyer. Or 5 and 2 reds. So sorry. 5 and 2 reds for a 6/3 flyer. And then its adventure is the Fork Tail Sweep. So the Fork Tail Sweep deals 1 damage to each creature you don't control, and that is for 1 and a red.
Yep. So you could probably, for 1 and a red, kill everybody's ramp cards.
Mean.
Kind of rude. All the ramp creatures are dead just from Fang Dragon right there. And I'm thinking, do we have any more? Okay, I was just making sure this wasn't an adventure one. I was like, did I lie to the people here?
Well,
no.
This one's really pretty.
Yeah, this one's cool. Oceanus. Right? That's how you say it?
Oceanus. That's how I would say it. Oceanus.
Oceanist.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Oceanus, like an ocean.
Oceanus.
Yeah. 4
Anyway,
and 2
4 and 2 blue for a 3/5 flying dragon. Whenever it enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls, then goad it.
Oh, yes. I love goading. I love it.
Yeah. Once again, throw it into a flicker deck. It starts getting really rude. We got also the Sword Coast Serpent. We do have another freaking adventure. Lady C.
Oh, we're such liars.
Take it.
Sword Coast Serpent, 5 and 2 blue for a 6/6 Serpent Dragon. Sword Coast Serpent can't be blocked as long as you've cast a non-creature spell this turn. Whew. And it has an adventure for 1 and a blue called Capsizing Wave. And it return target creature to its owner's hand.
Huh. So, yeah.
Tell you what, these blue dragons are just
kind of rude.
Kind
of rude. They control
really
stuff,
rude.
and then they're being rude after that. So anyway, we got 2 more dragons to talk about, and they're young.
They're youngins. Little baby dragon.
First one is the young blue dragon, and they're both adventure cards. So we definitely lied to you. So we got last 2 adventure cards.
They got lots of adventure dragons. That's super neat.
You know,
it adds a lot of value to the cards.
Pairs well. I believe Lausanne was the commander that says when you cast an adventure spell or a dragon spell, you deal damage equal to the mana cost.
That one was red and blue.
Yep. So these would pair up really well with that.
Yeah.
It's the young blue dragon, 4 and a blue for a 3/3 flyer. You get Sand Augury. Is the 1 and blue adventure. Scry 1, then draw a card. So just a little extra stuff, right? This is just some extra stuff, but it paired really well with that Lausanne commander.
And with our last dragon, we have the young red dragon. For 3 and a red, you get a 3/2 flyer who can't be blocked.
No, he can't block.
Yeah. Oh, he can't block. Oh.
That would have been awesome.
Sorry. That would have been okay. So
overpowered.
he can't block, but he's a 3/2 flyer. His adventure is bathe in gold. Create a treasure token for 1 and a red.
Nice. So, yeah, once again, pairs really well with that Lausanne.
He's bathing in his lava.
It's pretty cool art. Yeah, I like that a lot. Y'all, that are these new dragons, and like I said, these are 100% the best state Dragons has ever been in. Like,
so much value,
Yeah.
so much fun
Yep.
that you can have, like, just putting these all together.
and not just like straight to face smash stuff like dragon, all the crazy stuff, right? Like, it's not just, hey, we added a bunch of big dragons in the set. Like, there's so much flavor and like creativity and whatever. Like, there's just so much variance that you can put into these decks, and I, for one, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. I'm on board.
Always loved dragons. It just made my love stronger at this point with this set. So
yeah, check it out. We've got the whole deck list down below. Link.
Only our Dragon deck, but
But it includes a lot of this.
got a lot of these cards.
Got a lot of these cards. How we would do it. Our
Right.
ultimate dragon deck is below.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yep. And y'all, we do more than just YouTube. So
We do indeed. Every Sunday and Wednesday at 6, we stream MTG Arena on Twitch.
Yep.
We do Historic Brawl, which is basically the closest that you can get to EDH.
bring EDH to Arena, please.
Arena, and we do a lot of direct brawls with our followers.
Yep.
We also have a Discord where a lot of these followers like to hang out and build decks together, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep. And it grows by the day. So
And it's all different experience levels. There's people that are just learning. There's people that are judges for MTG. So
Right.
I mean, we have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. It's just a good time. And It's
Yeah.
good people, and it's good magic, and something I think you should check out. So that link's in the description as well below.
And if you enjoyed the show, like and subscribe. We love our subscribers.
Yep. Y'all help us out more than you know. Lady C, any closing thoughts you can think of?
No.
Dragon Smash. That's my
Dragon Smash.
That's my closing thought. Y'all, we are gonna hop up back into our realm, but like we said, like, subscribe. It helps us out a whole bunch. Comment, all of that stuff helps us out. But until next time, I am Strikeart Lightherder.
I am Lady Celestria.
Together we are Celestial Strike. We will see y'all next time. Peace.
Bye.
Take it sleazy.